Here with Lumi, Dave. How has your TI been going?
It's really tiring.
Why?
I mean, we have to come here. Well, I have to wake up at 6:30 because we have to come here at 7:15, and a lot of times we just sit here till like 10 or 12 or 1, and then begin casting. So I actually was thinking about going home right after my game so I could properly rest and watch the game at the hotel. But it's EG, so I kind of have to stay and get the live atmosphere.
And your boys, Cloud9.
Yeah.
Very close, but they attempted something very risky in the third game. What do you think about what happened?
I mean, Envy told me that he's gonna do what Vichy did to Titan, which is level 1 Roche. I don't know how much of that was like personal attack or just they thought it was a good strat. I don't know. But I think really what they, at least from what I've heard from the team, is that they really wanted the Morphling. I think they fourth-picked something else instead. Enigma, and I think they want to grab Morphling then, so it was like on the fly had to switch a strategy around, and maybe it was like the heat of the moment kind of situation, so I don't know.
So they wanted the Morphling, so they didn't plan the level 1 Roche and then they picked Luna and decided to?
Yeah, I think that was the case.
Okay. What do you think about DK losing to Vichy?
Once I saw the draft, I felt like that was kind of the deal, because I think so far all of the teams that are remaining and were doing really well are the teams that are just sticking to the guns and not really adapting and everything. It's not like saying adapting is bad. It just feels like DK are over-adapting almost, but I think Cloud9, if they stick to what they normally do, they would do much better than they did. Newbie, EG, Vichy, all the teams that are remaining, they just do what they do. Like, you know what they're going to do. They still beat you because they just play it so well.
And so now we have the guys that got kicked off of DK beating DK Super Team. What do you think about that?
I think that feels pretty good. I'm also somewhat sad about Mushi and his teammates, because last year he left his team to join a super team, but he still remained 4th place. Like.
Third place last year, a lot less impressive than 4th place this year, I think.
Yeah, I think the talent and the difficulty.
Got better.
Yeah, but to answer your question, I think they're still really good friends, like RTK and Burning and all of that. So I don't think there's too much bad blood.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Vichy team seems to be playing extremely well. They're going up against EG now. Do you think the break for the teams that are like waiting, do you think that's too long?
Yeah, I'm never really sure what to think of it, and I want to get your opinion on it. But I actually think, especially when you're playing like 2 or 3 best of 3, I think the players here could play at that high level for that long. Maybe at the end of a very long best of 3, like in the situation Newbie's in right now, or Vichy, excuse me, maybe they'll start to get tired, but I think they should be fine. What do you think? Do you think that Vichy is disadvantaged because they have to play 3 best of 3s?
No, actually, I think they're at an advantage. All the teams that have to play through seem to just win.
Yeah.
Like Newbie, you know, they had to play a bunch in a row. Yeah, they played a bunch and they won, and then they played a bunch and they won in the main bracket, and LGD also, they played a bunch in a row and they won. And then they went back, slept, came back and lost, you know.
Yeah. I actually think that Cloud9 losing game 1, for example, and then had a night to cool down was actually beneficial to Cloud9, not Vichy.
Yeah. And
then Vichy won 2-0 today, and then another 2-0. So to me, they're actually really fresh, and I think mentally it feels really nice to be like 2-0, 2-0, and let's play EG.
They didn't even celebrate. They beat DK, and they were just like, okay,
I mean,
next.
Let's go. Yeah.
That's when you can tell they're just, you know, focused and stuff. Okay. You're casting the finals this year. You're casting with Toby. You cast with LD last year. What are your thoughts on casting the finals again for, what is it, three times now?
3 times.
Yeah.
I keep telling Envy that, how many times are you in the final? He says 0, and then I say 3. So I just kind of rub it in.
Okay.
I want to say that I'm very happy for it, obviously.
So you have cast the finals the most out of anyone. You're the only person that cast it 3 times now. Well, you haven't cast it yet, so let's not count our chickens. Maybe something will happen before tomorrow.
And Envy will always tell me undeservingly I'm casting the final, so there's that. But I feel like this year I'm taking it way more seriously than all the previous year. Not to say that like the other years I don't feel honored or anything, but like this year I'm not hanging out with people as much. Like I really want to play Smash with you.
Oh, yeah.
But I just like, okay, I need to go back and sleep. Should make sure I'm rested. I'm watching my diet much more, like no fried food, try not to eat too much candy, no soda, that kind of stuff. Because by this time of the tournament, my voice is starting to give away. Make sure that I have good sleep and everything. And it feels more and more like a job, which makes sense because it's such a big tournament. But at the same time, I want to do this to have fun as well. So I'm right now, personally.
For you.
Okay.
For you.
I know this is like a first world problem, but I want to make sure that I do the best I can, right?
Yeah.
Like the teams are coming here, they're giving 110%. It wouldn't be fair for me to go out drinking 3 a.m. and then come in.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. And they give you an extra day here. We can hang out in Seattle for the last day.
Yeah,
it'll
of
be
course.
Fun. What do you think about like all the production stuff this year? Like the format of the panel, like them doing the analysis, then throwing it to you guys. Like the team stories, all that stuff.
I actually really like the ESL format. They do the analysis and then they bring it back to us. Obviously, it depends on who's on the panel. I really like Matt. I personally really like Gods a lot, like what he brings to the panel. So, and I agree with a lot. I almost wish there's like an open channel where we could talk and kind of chime in as well. It's like,
oh, yeah?
Yeah. But obviously, too many cooks in the kitchen is not good. Personally, though, I find myself thinking much more logically if I was able to cast a draft as well and then kind of just wind myself into the game. But, it's fine.
You could just talk to your co-caster about it, and
like
they don't hear you.
When nobody's listening, yeah, that's fine too.
Okay. Did you get to meet a lot of fans this time, or is it kind of segregated?
Yeah, that's one of the things, right? Like, for example, after the casting, you have like a line of people coming up to you and it's like, hey, Toby, can I have your signature? And normally, like in TI1, TI2, it doesn't matter how long the line is. I'm gonna like stand there for 1 or 2 hours and just like talk to everybody. And I try to make sure that I just don't sign and push them away. Like I actually talk to them about what heroes you like or whatever. But back to the whole, I want to make sure I rest well, that kind of stuff. After that last game, I was like, I'm done. I'm gonna go home, make sure I get rest. So I was like, sorry guys, I'm not doing signature.
Like that Lumi.
Yeah, that guy. He's
full of himself.
Exactly. So like, I actually feel really bad for that. Yeah.
Well, they can buy your signature online. Why bother getting a fake one when you can purchase it?
A real one.
A real one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure whether I like the whole signature thing either. I'm not sure how you feel about it because I don't want it to be like a competition, and it kind of is a competition, right? Because
well, so for the more popular personalities, it's a competition. I don't really feel like it's a competition. Like my signature's in there. I'm just happy if some people buy it.
Right, because the people that are buying you is truly supporting you, and I'm sure it's really the case for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it feels like there's like a retweet war going on Twitter. It's like
yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, mine, like my friends buy them. Like my friend bought like 10 of mine and put it in his profile, and it's like funny.
Right.
But I try not. I don't know. I feel like a little weird about.
Yeah, I feel really weird too. But then at the same time, a big part of that is going to TI and promoting the players, and I'm all for promoting the player. I almost would be happier if they just buy another compendium upgrade than just buying my signature, because I don't really care about that. I care if the price pool goes up, for example.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe next year. We'll see. We'll see what they have planned. Signatures, I think they're just testing them out. Yeah.
I think they were actually really last minute with it. By the way, Valve needs to actually make my signature show up. I'm the only one that doesn't have it.
What does yours look like? Is yours nice looking?
I actually signed Luminous because my picture was a Luminous picture. And then right now they haven't been added into the game yet. So.
I see. Yeah. Eventually they will.
Please get on it. Yeah.
Who do you think will sell the most though?
Probably Toby.
Toby?
No question.
Yeah, probably Toby. Yeah.
It's like he's like the voice and the face of Dota, at least from the casting side. Which I gotta say, shout out to Toby, because very much so like Smash, I think Dota had like a dark age, and I think it was actually Toby that brought a lot of new people to it. So, yeah.
You're already preparing for the shoutouts. I like it.
Yeah.
You've been preparing for
I see you winding down. You're like looking up and it's like, okay, I need another good question.
No. I'm not winding down. I'm just look. I've done like 50 of these.
Okay.
And I'm sorry that you're a busy man. We couldn't get you until now.
Best for the last, man.
We gotta save you best for last. But I have worn down a little bit over the past week and a half.
That's fair.
So I apologize for anyone expecting me to go crazy or anything. But like this is like.
Can I interview you for a second?
Yeah, you can ask whatever you want.
Give me the mic.
Okay.
So, like, you said you made 50 interviews.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have to repeat a lot of questions, especially to, I guess, the Chinese players where you can't really personally connect as well?
The Chinese players are harder to interview for sure because a lot of how I connect with people is like we're friends, we have a talk. They can see the inflection in my voice. They can tell that it's like casual and like I'm not pressuring them into whatever. But the Chinese interviews are just like we have a translator between us, and I'm just asking like questions that I hope they don't answer in one word. That's basically what it is, and they just want to get it over with. Whereas we're just like talking, and this is like, I would assume better than neutral, better than just hanging out, you know. But yeah, Chinese players are hard. They're hard.
Okay. So I also noticed that a lot of your interviews you ask like personal life questions, which gets the viewers to really know the players better. Like you ask about their families, what they want to do if they're not doing Dota, that kind of stuff. For the, I guess the Western players, the more interview players, do you feel like the players already know them too much in a sense?
What do you mean?
Like for example, let's say you've done multiple interviews with me. You would be like, okay, so what does your family think about this? I think that's a common question to a lot of fans. Do you think that they have answered that question too many times, or you try not to repeat any questions? It's always fresh every year, that kind of stuff?
For TI, I try and get the best stories out of people. So MSS, I already talked to them about that thing.
A good one.
Yeah, but we did it over again just because like a lot of people haven't watched that interview. Like this is like going on Dota's YouTube, right? But if I were to, let's say, if I interviewed you 5 times over this week, we'd probably theme each one differently. Like maybe we'd talk about sports in one of them and movies in another one. And people just want to know your opinion about things like a common experience. And that's why I think it was okay to talk to Suns fan for 15 minutes about basketball. Because even if you don't follow the NBA, you can skip that part. But if you do, and you know Suns fan, it's amazing. Like if you're an NBA fan and you're like listening to him, like, and he clearly really enjoyed it. We could have went on for like 35 minutes, but that's my philosophy on it. Like, I don't care if the viewer doesn't know anything about the NBA, but it's like way more fun for someone that does than it takes away from someone that doesn't. That's what I think, at least. But,
okay, last question, I promise, to you. Okay. I watch a lot of interviews. One of my favorite ones is actually that really long one, day 9. And obviously, you and him, and a lot of the players in general, you get along quite well. Is there any one you felt like I need to do some prep work before any of the interviews, or do you always do prep work for interviews?
I always do prep work, and it's not like normal like research. It's not like looking up on Wikipedia or anything like that. It's more like I just talk to them for a few minutes before. And usually the people that I interview that are good are the ones that I'm already friends with. Like I know a lot of the Dota players just from being around here. I hang out with them, I talk to them, and then I get a sense of their personalities, like what jokes will work, what jokes won't work. And sometimes like sometimes it's a misfire. Like sometimes your perception of like someone is just completely different than when you interview him. Like for example, Sing Sing is like actually quite serious guy when you interview him. He's not like how he's on stream. And he's hilarious, you know, he's hilarious when he's in game and playing. But then when you interview him, he's just like a little bit more serious. So I can't like troll him that much because he'll like do some of it back, but not really. So I really feel like you gotta talk to him and try and to do our style of interview, like what we're doing now, really know, you know, like get to know them as a friend rather than as like I'm an interviewer, you're an interviewee. I get 5 questions, you know, like that.
So you're saying I'm boring?
No,
you can't troll with me.
I'm not saying you're boring. I'm just saying I'm tired, and it's hard for me to do it now, you know.
Yeah.
So, no, that was good. You have a career lined up in case casting doesn't work out.
I want to be an interview, or at least I want to do interviews because I think it's really fun to get to talk to people.
You should do late night with Lumi, and then they build a late show set.
There you go.
I'll be your assistant. I'll be like on the side. I'll be like Andy. You can be Conan.
Okay, you can feed me the questions.
Yeah. And with a little earpiece. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we can get a guest, and we can have bits and a band.
It's really good.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Valve, let's do it. TI5, late night with Lumi.
Yeah, that means I'm not casting.
Well, it would be after all the games are over. It would be 1 hour each night.
Okay. Actually, that's a great idea.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, we should do it. Okay, so let's do shout-outs. You already shouted out Toby. Who else do you have?
I guess shout out to all of the casters out here. They put in a lot of tough work, and I think also the other shout out is I know what it feels like to watch from the sideline. I know, like for example, AC, for example, Kato Guy, like some of the not AC, but some of the lesser known casters would really want a opportunity to cast on the main stage, and perhaps felt sad that they couldn't. Hopefully they will get their chance in the future. I know right now it's, especially in the casting scene, it's very like top heavy. Does that make sense?
No, there's less slots. Like TI has 16 slots. Casting really, there's only four or five for the main stage.
Yeah, so I do hopefully shout out to those guys. Like not that they need more love, but we should give them more love. Also, like, I'm always like looking back, you know, I'm also worried, it's like, hey guy, that guy might take my slot. I'm still not exactly sure why I'm casting the final. Like I'm finding a lot of faults in my cast, so I could improve and do a better job for everybody. But yeah, shout out to all the casters out there. You know, I look at their cast a lot and try to learn what I can from them. So as they get better, I get better, and everybody get better, and you guys could have a better cast.
Casting meta.
Yeah, the casting meta. You learn from each other. So shout out to those guys. They really put in a lot of work, and honestly, not much, like it's not really good pay, you know, casting. So just a lot of love for them.
Do you have a call out? All interview to prepare for this.
Yeah, see, I'm not a good interviewee. I didn't prepare for this one.
Is it too mean to call out Envy now?
Too soon.
Too soon. Yeah, too soon.
You know what he did? He lost the game, so he went like to take a fresh breeder out, or he wanted to, and then as he's passing through the main stage, he got mobbed. Like that's like the worst thing that could happen to you. But he just stood there and like he's just like took pictures with everybody. He was smiling. Like, I don't think I could do that. Like if I just lost a chance for $1 million or 5, 10 million, whatever. So I can't.
Can't call him out yet right now.
Yeah. I don't know who I call out. Like everybody's been really nice.
Okay. No one. Not even. No one?
Call to gods. Where the frick is that enchantress?
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Where is it? One more day. You better do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Thanks, Lumi. Thanks for the interview.
Thank you.